Welcome, college basketball fans, to the Full Court Press Podcast with LT and Sammy D. This is the podcast that brings you legendary stories from college basketball's golden era and dives in deep with a current analysis of today's game. Get ready for the most energetic and entertaining college basketball podcast around. Let's get it.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome to another Full Court Press Podcast, a college basketball, probably can't know what the hell, a college basketball experience preview show. We're going MEAC, and you know the problem is some of these coaches get me going before we even start. So we've got the commissioner from Norfolk State, Coach Jones, and the not so commissioner from Morgan State, Coach Brodus. Welcome,
if I'm
guys.
The commissioner, he's the vice commissioner. Then if I'm the commissioner, whatever, man. Whatever.
Well, welcome. So Coach Brodus asked us before Coach Jones came on, how long you guys need? Like, how long we're going to talk? I said a couple hours, and now I know it's going to be a couple hours because we got a therapy session. But we're really excited. I mean, this is a great league, a lot of great basketball talent, a lot of great coaches, and thanks for joining us. So. Sam, who should we get to start? And what
I don't know. I mean, I'm excited because you got two programs who could win the MEAC any given year. I mean, two good coaches, and then when you look at the depth of all the teams, I mean, the whole conference just has some players, and I want to get into like the secret sauce these guys have of bringing back some of their top players, especially like with what's going on around the country right now with the transfer portal and things like that. I mean, what's your summer been like, guys? Like, I mean, what are those conversations like? Bringing new guys in, but then you guys also did a really good job keeping some of your key players.
Kev could go first because he brought back his whole team. So
yep,
he can go first with that.
Yeah, when you're in damn near in last place, everyone they had no suitors. No, but on the real, we got fortunate, got lucky. We lost one starter this year to Missouri State. Our big guy, he was a vocal part, and I just think some of the other guys had a bad taste in their mouth what happened last year, with injuries and stuff like that. But they wanted to come back and try to make the most of this journey we on it. Like I told them, yes, you like to think it's a sprint, but it's a marathon. It's year to year. And hopefully this will be our year. Since I've been in the league, I mean, I think Norfolk has won it damn near every year. If they haven't won it every year, they've won it at least 4 to 5 years I've been here, either regular season or the tournament. And that's a test to Coach Jones. But we're just trying to catch up. That's all. We're just trying to keep our guys, keep them happy, keep them hungry. Like I tell our coaches, I don't want guys to just come in here and say they want to eat. That's the new saying. Oh, I want to eat, coach. No, I want guys that's hungry, because you can be the sheep. I want the wolf. So just want to just get better, and hopefully we can contend with Norfolk and Howard this year for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I mean, for us, we brought like 7 guys, so I guess that's like a high in this day and age. But yeah, we brought back 7. We brought back 4 out of our top 5 for 4 of our 5 starters. But I mean, we did lose the Player of the Year, and we lost the 6th Man of the Year. So hopefully those other 4 guys, could step up and do something. But there is some continuity coming back to a certain extent. But we do got to replace those 2 kids that did a lot of scoring for us, and they were 2 really good players.
Yeah. But you brought in some players. I mean, Alan Betrad from Towson was a very nice player. You got Jameer Thomas from UNC Wilmington. I think you'll be okay, Coach. I think you know what you're doing over at Norfolk State.
Yeah, but those guys were last year though. We got to see what these guys doing this year. Like Jamari, he went to South Carolina. Just like with anybody else, and I know. Yep. Kev knows, NIL got us with South Carolina. We can't compete with nothing they trying to do for him. So, I understand why he left. And then B-Tran, I mean, he just graduated. So,
yep.
That just happened like that.
But you got guys in the fold that could take over that. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, but what's interesting, you talk about NIL, and it really is an ever-changing landscape. And for a conference like the MEAC, I mean, how do you guys compete with some of the powers that be that are going to come in and potentially take some of your better players?
Well, we don't compete. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we're in the beginning stages of it. When guys, I always say we're the feeder system for the next level. And, let's be real about it. No one grew up, for the most part, saying as a kid they wanted to go to Morgan, Norfolk, Central, South, and on to MEAC. These kids grew up saying they wanted to go to the Big East, the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, and that's the world we live in, and we got to understand it. Now, we're going to get our share of players like, Rob got the kid that came from Wilmington, he wasn't as good at Wilmington as he was at Norfolk. I mean, that's a testament to the coaching. A lot of times, the coaches at this level don't get the due that they should be given. And he made the kid the player of the year in this league. No one voted him player of the year preseason. The way they played, who would have thought that? And, it's a testament to our coaching. But, it's new for this level. It's new. And I've been at that level where, they approach from the lower level, and that's part of it. But, we get who we get, and we make them better. That's the big thing.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, go ahead, Coach Jones. Sorry.
No, I mean, I wasn't going to say much because Coach Brodus took care of most of it. But, with the whole NIL thing, we're in our early stages of that too. We have got a couple good contributions, so it won't really affect this year's team, but it'll probably affect more of next year's team. So, that will be pretty good, hopefully, in the future. Because in the NIL right now is like, Coach Brodus, like I said, I told you before, that's my guy. Even when you email me about who to bring, I was like, Coach, Brodus, right away, that's my man. Mm-hmm. But it's but so much longer the guys are going to come for our smile or our candor. They're going to want to know how much money they're getting paid. So, we got to get our NIL together, and we are doing a good job. And it seems like other teams in the league are doing it too. But just like he said, there is a lot of good coaches and a lot of good players in the league, and it's very underrated to say the least.
Yeah, and I think I had this conversation recently with another couple coaches, and what they said is what they're doing is they're trying to retain and recruit for long-term, meaning, kid comes in, kid gets an offer of, let's say, $35,000, okay, at whatever, is there $80,000 at South Carolina? Would you rather be the star at Morgan State, or would you rather potentially sit on the bench? Because now, as the next level, whether it's international, whether it's G League, whatever it is, you got to perform, and you're not performing. So, I can see a lot of coaches in your kind of shoes right now, like trying to get these kids to understand this is like a 5, 10, 15-year process, not a 2 or 3 year process.
Yeah, but that's the problem that I think myself and Kev, like, we know that, but these kids don't see that, and I think it's going to get even worse when now next year they expanded to 15 scholarships. So you're going to see more high majors just taking kids that should be coming to us because they have 2 more scholarships available, and the kids are going to get sucked into that because, yes, they can go at $80,000 for South Carolina or whatever you said. That's really low, So,
right.
But, like, these people are getting real dollars out there, and it's going to be hard to tell a kid, hey, come to Morgan or Norfolk, and we run really good programs. I think, I really respect what Kev does, and I think it's likewise with him. But it's like, it's kind of hard to tell a kid that has nothing that don't come here and turn down $150,000 from somewhere else. It seems like we get the kids that might go up there, get the money first, and then it didn't work out, and now they just want to go back to the purity of basketball. Now, after they got the money and things like that. But it's going to be tough to just going forward. But hopefully, hopefully myself and Kev and we and the rest of the leagues we could compete a little bit with NIL stuff. So
yeah, how much of the changing landscape of the NCAA kind of affects your recruitment process, kind of the blueprint and culture you guys put on your team? And you guys have done really well recruiting kind of outside the lines, right? Coach Jones, you got a guy who is 26 years old from the armed forces, right? Like, he's going to be tough, and I'm sure he's a force to be reckoned with at practice and stuff. Then Jermaine Camera, played NBA African Academy, and same thing for you, Coach Brodus. I mean, Marlon Harris, JUCO product out of LA, you know, and then Amari Simpkins, who put up some numbers at Hercombe College. You know, I mean, these are probably kids who like aren't being looked at in other programs, you know, and so like, what is that? I mean, how creative are you guys getting putting these rosters together?
We get creative. I mean, you got to get in where you fit in. And the funny part about it, you was talking about how, you know, the payoffs, and now my kids are so worried about refunds. You know, everything counts. I mean, Pell Grant, this grant, that grant, and that's the world we're living in. Our world is different than the high level, but we just want to compete with the same level, the Big South, you know, the CAA, and those levels. And when we're putting a team together, a lot of times we're fighting those guys when you're talking about JUCO kids or even high school kids or transfers. We're all trying to get transfers from the highest level that didn't play as much. That's probably the biggest thing. Like, you know, you go back to Norfolk's team last year. They took transfers from Ryder and Wilmington and made them all league players. And the funny part about when our guys leave here, they go to the higher levels. Like you say, they only play so much. But one thing you're never going to beat the dollar. And that's what it comes down to, dollars and cents. So you got to figure out, you know, like right now for us, and it's funny, we had a Division II kid come on a visit that we wanted real bad. And as soon as he hit campus, first thing he says, how much NIL money you guys going to offer me? And I'm like, you need to go back. And he ended up going back to the school he came from because no one would, you know, give him NIL money. But, you know, it's a funny science right now, funny equation, how we're doing things. But everyone has their own strategy or own method of what they're doing.
Yeah.
When you guys look at the league as a whole, you know, we mentioned Howard earlier, who's a force to be reckoned with every year. You know, Delaware State's got a good squad. You know, and are there any surprises in the league you guys are looking at this year?
I don't know if it would be surprises, but I know that the one thing I will say is that it seemed like when the league got to 8 teams, for some reason it became tougher. You know, like it was like when it was at 13 teams, you know, not taking anything away from some of those teams, it just didn't seem like there would be times that I know on my schedule that I can say, okay, well, these 5 games, I'm going to win these without even like blinking too much. And maybe the rest of the games I got to kind of figure it out. But this now is like the league all of a sudden became tougher with these 8 teams. You know, I think maybe it's the coaches that are now coaching these 8 teams and the players that they're getting and things like that. But there's really nobody on the schedule that you can say, hey, that's going to be a gimme. You know, like I can go get 2 of those games in a series because anybody can beat anybody. I mean, you look at it last year, I think Del State was maybe a 6, I don't know, they were 5, 6 seed or whatever they were. But
they were on us, they were 6 seed.
Yeah, so they got to the championship game last year. You know, Howard was a 2 or 3 seed or whatever they were. They got to the championship game.
No, they were 4 seeds.
Howard was?
Yeah, we were 5, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they were 5, 4. Okay.
So look at the championship game.
The team that shocked me the most was South Carolina State.
Yeah, South Carolina State. I mean, they came out of nowhere last year, and they returned you know, a lot of players. I think everybody almost comes back. Maybe I think they might have lost a kid or 2, but pretty much all their key players come back. So, you know, I'll be once again. You know, I know every coach has an ego, but I'll say this, just real transparent, is that a lot of teams, you know, players and talk about not players, but commentators and media talk about Norfolk State. I mean, you know, you got South Carolina State, Morgan State, they return, you know, everybody. Then you got Central returns some decent people too. So it's like there's a lot of other people in the league, which makes it extremely hard. You know, of course, I think the unknowns, of course, is Eastern Shore, because no one really knows how his style is going to fit into the MEAC. Because you know, me and Kev talked about it before. Just because you have success somewhere else doesn't mean you can have success in this league. This league is tough, and even Kev, you know, I think maybe Kev's second year, maybe me and him became close his second year. Like we've been close ever since then, because we had a conversation. You know, he was saying that, and I think you might remember the conversation, Kev. He was like, coming from the higher levels, you actually didn't realize how good like the coaching and players were at this level. You know, so it's like I think that you never know what's going to happen with that. So Eastern Shore, and then of course Coppin is a unknown too because they have to do a lot of rebuilding from the record that they had last year. So those are probably the two unknowns. But everybody else, I mean, you got, they're gonna bring some fire, everybody. So
yeah, and at the end of the day, it all comes down to a weekend or two in March, right? And anybody can beat anybody just because you're the first seed or the 8th seed. I mean, we watched it last year, even during the non-conference schedule, all these mid-majors knocking off these Power 4, Power 5s. Then you get in the conference schedule. I mean, you have like Longwood knocked off a couple people, and then this team knocked off a couple people. So you really can't, like you said, maybe if you have 12 or 13 teams, you can kind of coast through some of these games. But now that you got 8 and it's so much concentrated and there's just so few teams that you can't take a second off. You can't take a play off.
Well, you look at like what happened in the MEAC last year, Coach Jones, you had 24 wins on the season, 11-3 in conference. You don't win your conference tournament, so you don't get that bid, and then you go win the CIT tournament, right? Like, what are those? What did the CIT tournament kind of mean to your program and winning that? And was it motivational going in there? Like, and has that kind of carried on through the summer?
I mean, it was a good consolation process, I would say. I think from what we understand, like I think we're the first HBCU for Division I to win a postseason tournament. So that means a lot for not just Norfolk State, but I think any HBCU, to be able to win. Say you won a postseason, tournament, which has never happened before. But for us, once again, like you just said, it's like after we lost that game to Howard, and I know Kev, experiences this too in different forms. Is that when we lost the game to Howard in the semifinals, right? We had already won 22 games then, right? And it's like you lose that game and it feels like you did nothing all season. When you won 22 games, like that's a hard thing to do to win 22 college basketball games. I mean, we were sitting at like a 67% win percentage overall, but it felt like nothing. Like it felt like you did nothing when you lost that game to Howard. So it's a gift and a curse of being in like a one-bid league because you can not have a good year and win the league and now everyone's happy, and you can have a great year because I think we had a great year, honestly. I think we were like you said, overall we finished 24-11, but we were 22 going into that game with Howard. So it's like I don't know, it's kind of and I know Kev maybe could elaborate more on this, but it's just sometimes it feels like you don't want all your work to come for those 3 days in March, but we understand that it does come to those 3 days in March. Because I know even like Kev, I know a couple years ago, I think Kev won 20 games or 19 or something like that, and it feels like you did nothing. Once you lose that game, so it is tough. When it comes to that.
I want to go on record and say I thought it was a travesty that the NIT did not pick them.
Yes.
I mean, when and changing of the rules, it's almost like a conspiracy theory from where I sit at. I mean, it just clearly knocks the little man out of the equation, which is bad for college basketball because that's Absolutely. What they call it. It's March Madness. You want to see the small schools like the MEAC, the SWAC, or the Big South, knock someone off. People, I hate to say it, we don't do it. I don't do it. Coaches don't do it. People mortgage their houses off of March Madness. And it's a travesty that they didn't make the NIT. Even without the automatic bid, they still should have been given a berth in the NIT. And I think that's a tragedy. I mean, it doesn't sit well. And I've been, like you said, I've been at the highest level. I'm going to tell you, the biggest scare you had is that first weekend in March when you're one of those schools, when I was at Georgetown, Maryland, and you're playing a Norfolk State or Morgan State, you're nervous, trust me, because they didn't get there by luck. They got there because they're good. And it shows when you win 22 games, you're pretty damn good. I mean, you go 11-3 in your league, and all 14 of those games weren't at home. Let's be real about it. They won some tough. They beat us at our place. And not many people come in here and do that. So I thought it was a travesty. I think they got to go back to the drawing board with that one because I'm not even going to get into the thing. It's not fair, which is not.
No, but coach, and but here's the funny thing about the NIT, and Sam and I were both like miffed about it because we actually had the week that came out, we had the MAC commissioner, okay, and the MAC is a one bid league, and Sam's laughing because it was like, here's the thing, okay, you're not going to give a team over a body of work wins 11, 12, 13 games, an automatic bid to the NIT, but then 7 or 8 Power 5 teams say, screw you, we're not even going to play.
Right. But it gets even better. They had sub 500 teams in the NIT.
Yep.
And these guys had 22 wins. That's I don't get the reasoning about that for all that. I mean, I don't think they talk to the basketball body.
Coach, it's about here's the thing, and this is the problem, okay? They'll say, all right, well, Norfolk State's not going to draw X amount of people, but Maryland will. And it's not about basketball anymore. It's about money. I mean, look at conference realignment. It's all happening right now. It's crazy.
See, I hear you, but it's conflicting. Now it's very conflicting. Now that the NCAA runs a tournament, and now they bought the NIT, they run both.
Yep.
So why not give the money there? The money that you're talking about is not going to. That first round is not going to be as big as you think it's going to be. Because Maryland, first of all, Maryland's people are not going to travel for the NIT. Not unless they're not going to bring a whole gate at Maryland for that game playing against Norfolk. You might as well reward these guys for, like you say, a body of work. It makes very in the grand scheme of things, on paper, it sounds good, it looks good. Oh yeah, they're gonna bring X amount of dollars and blah blah blah. But when you go to those games, when they have those NIT games on campus, they don't fill them up like you think. Now in the Midwest they do. In the Midwest.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I thought it was I watched some Norfolk State games last year, and I mean that's the way college basketball should be played. The way Coach Jones had that team out there, and I was shocked they didn't make the NIT. At the same time, I was happy that all the kids and the young men got to go home at the end of the season with a win. And so, I do want to give you a lot of credit there for winning that first postseason tournament for you and your team.
Do it, Sam. Let's
have a little fun. It's LT's going to fire off some questions for you guys. 5-6 quick, easy hitters. One word, one sentence. If it leads to a short story, feel free to let loose, man. The time's yours. LT, let's get it.
Well, first of all, before you even start, LT, Kevin got all these stories, so everything you say is going to lead to a short story. He got a million stories, man. He got a million.
I retired my stories. Get me in trouble at home.
I don't know, man. I think we got you fired up talking about the NIT. So let's have some fun here.
All right.
One word to describe the MEAC conference.
Underrated.
Powerful.
Ooh, I like that. Toughest gym to play in the MEAC.
Ooh. You only give one answer because I got a tie. I think.
All right, let's hear it. Give me the tie.
Yeah.
I would say Morgan or Central. That's tough.
Oh, wow.
For us, I would have to say, because we've only won once there in 5. Norfolk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At least he didn't in Norfolk.
Norfolk.
There's no tie there, Coach.
Norfolk. We won everywhere else. I mean, it's year to year, but that's the hardest place for us.
Okay. Who had the most fouls called against themselves in the MEAC? What team?
Against themselves.
Which team led the league in fouls called against them?
The most fouls that were called.
But this is supposed to be like an actual question, like a real,
a real
answer.
Be a question.
Morgan State.
No.
With Central?
No. South Carolina State led the league with 20.8 fouls per game.
Oh yeah, they just run around crashing into each other. They just run around crashing into it. That's crazy, man.
Sometimes that's a WWF on steroids.
They're crazy, man. Those guys are crazy. But hey, it worked for them, so I can't take anything away from them.
Yeah.
It worked.
Who had the least fouls called against them?
The least.
I'm gonna say Howard.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Howard too.
Delaware State, 16.9.
Really? They play zone. Yeah, they play zone.
Morgan State, 19.2. Norfolk State, 18.9.
And we don't foul them, won't we?
Yeah. That's what happens when you're the commissioner.
I thought we was high up there in fouls.
I mean, hey, you could do better this year, Coach.
We got to play a lot of zone then.
All right, here's an easy question. Give me your best MEAC conference official.
I haven't seen him yet.
Question, I don't think.
I haven't seen him yet.
They got to earn it this year, LT.
I haven't seen him yet. They all live down in Norfolk, so Rob knows them all.
No, I don't know any of them, actually. I don't know any of them.
They're all graduates of Norfolk State. Who would be the best dressed coach on the sidelines?
Well, we don't really do the suits and stuff no more, so it's kind of tough. Everybody kind of looks the same, I think.
All right, let me ask you this then. Who's got the best shoe game?
Oh, me. I was saying that
Me.
All right, since we got a tie, who's the most animated of the conference coaches?
Animated.
On the sidelines.
I don't know. I think everybody got a little fire to them. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody got a little fire.
No one's got a little bit more than the other. Okay.
Yeah. I would say the least animated. I got the least animated.
All right, let's hear it.
I don't really see Larry Stewart doing a lot of animated stuff over here.
Larry doesn't do a lot of talking.
Yeah, so I say least. I got a least animated one.
And having the team he had last year, I'd have been the most animated. And that's my guy. I
mean it's I guess you lose some animation when you're 2-27, throughout the year. So
maybe I'll bring it. All right, last question. If they made a movie about the MEAC conference coaches, what would the movie be called?
The Four Horsemen. Because it's like you got like myself, Lavelle, Blakeney. I think Brodus is at the top of the chain, and then you got everybody else kind of fighting around. In my opinion, whether people like it or not, I'd say
I'd watch that movie.
Yeah.
Coach Brodus is still thinking about it.
Yeah, I was the way it doesn't match up, but I would say Harlem Nights with all the characters in the day.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's a good one.
That's a good movie. You know what the two SWAC coaches said the movie would be called?
What is it?
Boys in the Hood.
I ain't say that.
No, I ain't going there.
They said, and Coach Bussey said, and Coach Jackson just couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, maybe that's how they get down in the SWAC, but we don't roll like that.
That's a bad look.
Yeah, we don't roll like that up in me, actually. They keep that bit of Mississippi stuff to themselves. We in real cities. So, wow. They get a bit of Mississippi and all the other nonsense they're doing.
All right,
it's a lot of stuff going on in the SWAC.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Wow.
All right, you won nothing. You got nothing. I think we should have a conference challenge between the SWAC.
Yeah,
I thought that was coming. I thought it was coming
too.
Yeah, I saw some news on that.
We would love to be in that.
Yep.
Yeah, because it seems like a lot of conferences are doing that to get like some, home and away series. Like the Sun Belt's doing it with the MAC. They switch home and away because, like I was talking to Coach Jackson and Coach Bussey, like none of them have home games. Like they don't have home games. They have to play for obviously their budget. So, but it would be kind of cool to see that, like have like a little like intercomp, like conference against conference. You have 8 teams. They take their top 8 and you just mix them up and let's play.
Well, I think that's where like I know both Coach and I, we both played in it. It's like those classic like the CP3 and stuff like that. They kind of give you an opportunity to play against the SWAC schools, but that's the only thing that really gives you the opportunity to play against it, because we can't just call like even and Bussey and Jackson are 2 buddies of mine. It's like I've tried to play Bussey before, but he tells me he can't do it because he has a guarantee obligation, and if he can. He could never return the game to me, so it's like I'm not going to wherever the hell knock on his ass.
Hey, Coach, he's scared. Coach, he's scared of you.
Well, I don't know, man. You said it, I did it.
LT will hold on to it. It's all good. Guys, we appreciate you guys coming on. We're going to turn it over to you guys last minute of this episode. Anything you guys want to share to the Spartan or the Bear Faithful alumni, boosters, your communities, anything you guys are looking forward to this season? Coach Brodus, let's start with you.
To the Bear Nation, just said we're coming. We're coming.
We're coming.
As long as we stay healthy, I think hopefully we can turn the corner. We got experienced guys coming back, like you say, parrot continuity, and our guys they believe, and we just got to stay. Like now, people are always saying, I hate when people say, "How your team?" Everybody, "Oh, we're great right now." I don't know if we're great. We're coming though. We're coming.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not there. We're not going to finish product, but hopefully in March we're right there at the top. So that's what we want to be. That's what we strive for.
I think what I would say to our faithful is that have some patience, because with the early schedule that we got to play, and then the new guys that we got to mesh to our system, I'm not quite sure how good we'll be early, but I do believe in the talent that we did bring in, and I think that we will be there late, but just have some patience early. It's gonna be a roller coaster, so we'll be okay though.
Yeah, I will tell you, after the beginning of this interview and during and the end, we really appreciate it. So we're really excited. You're going to stick with us for one more second as we upload. But guys, people that listen, check out the MEAC. It's great basketball, great coaches, and really see if Larry Stewart is the least animated on the sidelines this year in the MEAC conference tournament. But we're excited about it. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back on another conference preview show. Who's it going to be next on the Full Court Press Podcast? A college basketball experience.
Let's get it.